Where do I start? Start at the beginning. And the beginning was Carl introduced me to this program, and I hopped on immediately. Now, my background is not one of skepticism. It is one of, for example, at age 16, my first book that was given to me by a family friend was Back to Eden. And so my background has to do with herbal stuff because my father gave us that. We didn't take medication. We had some herbal stuff which he always knew about. And so that was that. And over the years, they would send me books, and I have acquired books over the years. But you know, in the latter years, I wasn't accessing those books as I should. So when this program came up, my first reaction was, when I looked at it, a lot of the ingredients I have come across in these books. And so I decided that I would come on and that I would, you know, start working on it. And the first thing as I did was the vision. And the vision came about simply because just a year before, which was in January 2020, a year before that, I was diagnosed in my left eye, and in my right eye, I had cataract and membrane. Now, the membrane has been there for about 5 years. Then I put on inflammation, and I can never recall what was the third. But nonetheless, I put that on, and that worked very well for me within 24 hours. And in vision, that started working within 3 days, subtle difference. And it's important, I think, to note that when we put on these boosts, for example, I have boost vision on for the past 5 months, 7 days that I'm in this program. I'm 73 years old, so naturally, I guess the eyesight would start deteriorating. But what is important, I find, is that you need to leave them on for long periods of time. So if I put something on, for example, and it is working for me, I put it on for 14 days, it's working for me. I tried for another 14 days before I switched to another set of experiment. And you know, you can always experiment on yourself. Now, I have put on, recently, I had this problem of starting back to walk. And I had difficulty with my groin and my hip, my back on the left side. And that, I think, is linked to a hairline fracture that I have. And what I did was I went in, I did customs, well, that eventually expired. And I put on combined inflammation, joint repair, some essential oils, and probiotics. By the next day, the problem had eased altogether. Now it's gone altogether. With vision, I never take vision off. Vision is now linked or combined with heart circulatory and amino acids. And each time I combine, I find that there is some very, very subtle changes. The other thing that is happening is that after being in the program this long, and I tend to internalize, and so having been in the program this long, I find myself sort of going to quiet places in my mind. And I more or less settle down to sort of focusing on various aspects of my body. I used to tell people that I have a high pain threshold, and that is because I don't take tablets. Now, my high pain threshold came about because when I feel a pain, I concentrate on the air and I take a deep breath and I hold it. And I've done that for years. I got in the habit of doing that. So that when I get into the program and I put on, it's one of the reasons why I don't put on pain, because I found that inflammation worked for me. And all the other products that had some amount of inflammation in it, it works very well for me. I think at this stage of my life, and I really am feeling on top of the world, I feel very, very good. The moment something happens, I can go in and play around with the ingredients and to see what it is I need. And I'm never afraid of trying certain things because then within 3 days or so, I will know if it's going to work for me, because my system is now used to the limbic system. And so I would go in and I would use that, and it worked for me. Now, one of the other things that is a little bit troubling is that when I set up these new boosts that I have done recently, for example, I said the inflammation, joint repair, essential oils, and probiotics was the last one that I set up in connection with the groin pain. I found EMF at 88%. EMF, again, radio. First one was infrared, and radio was 88%. Cell tower radiation is 86%. And that's because I went down and searched for those products. I added to my boost different items, and then I did a custom. And when I did that custom, these are some of the things that were showing up in the additional section. I did a spark scan on that combination I created. And then I went down to the advanced level and I added stuff, and then I did the spark scan on that. And when I checked, I found a lot of 90% and this 80%. So I added all of those that came up. And overall, I am getting very good results. I can't complain. So, but in connection with vision, I'm seeing I can now drive at night. In the case where I couldn't drive for 2 years, I'd stopped driving at night. Now I drive at night, and I'm seeing things much more clearly. This is just so marvelous. I mean, it's hard to tell anybody how it works. I don't know how it works. I don't want to know how it works. I just know that it works. And this group, it's coming to this group. There are days when there are things that I have to do, and I'm saying, okay, I may have to miss today, but I scramble, and at the end of it all, I'm here. That's why I'm here so late sometimes. I have to be in this group. There's a vibration that resonates in this group that it's hard to explain, but it is there. You have to be in it to feel it. And so this is basically what I'm getting out of Limbic Arc. And as long as it exists, I will be on it, and I will go in, looking internally and look for all the things that might have happened some years ago and focus on them based on what is happening. I'm actually good cleaning house, if you know what I mean. Internally, I'm just cleaning up. And that's basically, and so you have to be in the program for a while to be able to play around and do these things to your benefit. And I think that is just about all I can say at this point in time. Thank you.